Hey, good people. Welcome to Melanated Vibrations, a new show that celebrates the diversity and richness of Black culture. Join us as we delve into our individual mental health and overall mental health of our community. From the latest trends to the timeless coping mechanisms, we'll showcase the best of what it means to be mentally healthy. So sit back, relax, and get ready to feel the vibrations of Black excellence. Let's get started.
Hey y'all. Hey everyone, welcome to Melanated Vibrations. Happy Monday. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I hope you guys were able to get some rest and relaxation. I hope it wasn't too cold for you guys. This is the perfect fall football weather. So I hope everyone had a chance to get out, get some fresh air, enjoy the weather. I hope everyone had a great, productive day, whether you were off or you went into the office or you work from home. How was your day, sis?
Long.
You look tired.
I am.
Well, what's wrong? Who did it?
I'm just tired. Shit. Clients, school, people. I do a lot. I just tired.
First of all, let's get into your outfit.
Ooh.
You look like the John from the TikTok video. Like, what's going on?
Like privilege today.
You got the bed, you got the headband on, you got the titties out. Like, what is going on? See, she ain't had that on her arms though. So you gotta let your arms show.
I can't. I'm gonna get in trouble.
You get in trouble for having your titties out. Like, I don't understand. Hey, Creamy. If you just joined the stream, please make sure you are tagging in your folks. Good evening, Big Exclusive, and make sure that you are sharing the stream. We are live. Let's get started. So let's talk about your choice of clothing today. Did you wake up and choose violence? Like,
that's all I got.
Okay. So what are you bringing into the space today?
Whatever the fuck I want today.
Oh, so you did wake up to choose violence. That's what you did. You woke up and chose violence. Are you drinking? Is that an alcoholic beverage? Is that an adult beverage? Is that water? It's an adult beverage? Yeah, so we're gonna let you be quiet for this segment. And let's not have her be on 1 or 2 or 3. Like, let's just leave her where she is, because last time I asked her why she was quiet. We probably should let her be quiet. So we will not be doing that tonight. So if you just joined Melanated Vibrations, make sure you share the stream, tag your folks in. So I'm bringing into this space knowledge. Yes, that's what I'm bringing in. Hey, OG. We already know you choosing violence. Yeah, Creamy, she's choosing violence. So let's just get a couple things out the way. Hey, no, let's not unleash the dust. That's not what we're doing. It's mental health today. So again, remember that we are in October. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Men and women are both affected by it. More women than men, unfortunately. Ladies, if anything feels weird to you, you're experiencing any uncomfortability, any pain, again, we know our bodies. We know what they're supposed to feel like. And if something just feels, not the dust mop, if something just feels off to you, please go check with your doctor. The age, again, used to be, I think, 45 for mammograms, but they have upped it to 35, I believe. So if they say if you see something, say something. Same thing with your body. If you see something, say something, right? Don't try to self-diagnose yourself. Go to the doctors, get yourself checked out. So many women, I believe the statistic was, not the spirit of Tupac, Jesus. Now leave Jada ass back there. 42,000 women a year die from breast cancer. So if you see something, say something. If you know anyone that has been affected by breast cancer that has either came on the other side of this battle and they're survivors, continue to celebrate them and praise them. Unfortunately, if you have lost someone to breast cancer, my condolences go out to you and your family, no matter how long it's been. I realize that today is the anniversary of my mother's death. So it's been 10 years today since I lost my mom. And I think I've gotten to a point where I don't even think about it until something happens. And so I didn't get like a Facebook memory. I don't remember what it was. I was at work and something was like, oh, it's October 16th. And I was like, oh, that's today. So I had my little moment, but you know, if you have your parents still in your life, make sure you hold on to them, make sure you appreciate them. Because God is just out here snatching folks up. Like I said, it's been 10 years for me. It never gets any easier, it just becomes bearable. But make sure you hold on to the people that you have here. There's a million places you can donate if you are interested for breast cancer awareness. You have, what is it? What is the lady's name? Susan G. Coleman is a really big one. You can go on the website. You can donate. Americans Cancer Society, you can go on. You can donate. Of course, do your research to figure out which ones are credible and to make sure your money is actually being dedicated and, given to the research that it takes to find a cure for breast cancer.
It's Domestic Violence Awareness Month, too.
It is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Which is a really big thing. It spiked in numbers. I'll say for myself, what I saw on the clinical side is that it spiked in numbers during the pandemic because more people or more, I don't want to just say women, but predominantly women were kind of forced to be in the home with their abusers. And so, yes, again, you see something, say something. Thank you so much. Hey, Tiff. Yeah, if you see something, say something. I'm not telling anybody to go out and be a hero because we know when it comes to domestic violence, it's always such a tricky topic and a tricky subject. And as much as we want to put our capes on and swoop in and help people that we know are being affected by it, sometimes it's not the easiest thing because, until that person is ready to leave, and I mean truly ready to leave and walk off, you could be putting yourself in a dangerous situation. What I will say is that if you have a friend, a family member, a coworker, someone that you know is being affected by domestic violence, just create a safe space for them to be able to talk to you, maybe provide resources, and then wipe your hands of it is honestly what I would say. Give them the resources so they always have the tools. No one wants to go into shelter, of course, especially women that have children, but do your part, do what you can, and then they have to make the final decision. Did you want to add anything to the domestic violence?
I just learned today that you can actually kind of like, not thrill to somebody, but say that they can't take care of themselves. You can turn them in and consider them homeless. So they don't live on the street. I ain't never know that. Because one of the other case managers, she declared her client is like fully homeless. And she was like, no, she doesn't want to go in there, but I had to do it so she wouldn't live on the street. I'm like, you could do that to somebody?
I guess so. I guess there's so many rules of case management. I think that in order to I guess it would be if you as a mandated reporter feel as though that person is a harm to themselves or others, that they will allow you to do it as a mandated reporter. But most homeless people don't want to go into shelters either because shelters are unsafe, unfortunately. They're not clean. It's a lot of thievery that happens there. And so it's just, you got to remember there's so many different walks of life, let me put it that way, that stay at shelters. And so unfortunately, it may not be the safest option. So I completely understand why people would rather stay on the street or rather stay in those abusive relationships versus to go into a shelter. But, if they have a case manager that thinks that they are a harm to themselves or others, and it would be safer for them to be in a supervised facility, I don't see anything wrong with it, ideally.
Me neither.
Yeah. Child case management is a lot. It is not for the weak-hearted. It is, social service, social work field is not for the weak. I had a parent today, one of my case managers, she went to reach out to the parent because she was a new referral, and she basically like cussed my case manager out. So I like called her to figure out like, hey, this is an optional service, is a volunteer service. I'm just trying to figure out, do you have any questions about, why we're involved? And it just went left after that. I did keep it professional. Very proud of myself. Mm-hmm. Might have got a little spicy at the end, but I really would just say that I was stern about what I said. And it just came off across very disrespectful. Sometimes I've said this to you guys all the time. People will use you as their emotional punching bag because they have a bunch of stuff going on in their life. And so they want to dump and imprint all of what they have going on onto someone else and ruin someone else's day. And I truly do believe that is what it was, is that we're calling from truancy. You probably think this is DHS related. You probably think we're trying to take your kids. Hey, Jay Boogie. And this is not at all what this is. And so I think sometimes when you call from certain, agencies, people automatically just think the worst. And I think that whatever emotion she was going through, I think she felt like my case manager and I were, okay to like dump those emotions on. But I'm a firm believer in respect. Respect is due to a dog. You are not going to talk to me any kind of way. And so she was like, well, I already accept the services. And I told her she could come out to the house. And I was like, you know what? We're going to go on and decline them services. Mm-hmm. I didn't decline. I said, no, we're going to go on and decline them services for you because my case manager does not feel comfortable coming to your home, especially with the kind of attitude and energy that you're giving over the phone. And my case manager came, after the call, because I put it on speaker. She was like, I was actually going to ask you to go. We ain't got to go because I'm going to make an executive decision as your supervisor to just refuse services. She will get nothing from us because you don't talk to people like that.
She can discharge. And that's it.
Listen, that's for the courts. The courts have to go and kind of do the discharge. So we can't do the discharge. The courts have to make that. But I will be making sure that I make mention of it when we go to court, how disrespectful and irate she was on the call. And how my case manager did not feel safe, even going to go do a home visit because of her behavior on the phone. So of course, I had to disconnect the call after I told her to have a good day. And she continued to yell and be disrespectful and combative. So I hung up. And then she decided to call all around the agency. It's like, well, no one's talking to you. So this conversation is over. So treat y'all case managers nice, okay? The people that are in the social work field, the social service field, it is not easy for us. We have our own personal stuff that we go through, our own families and stuff that we have to take care of when we walk out of these buildings. So be mindful of that. Everyone is entitled to a bad day. You are not entitled to have someone else have a bad day. So just because you're having a bad day does not mean that someone else around you should have a bad day because you can't control your emotions. So there's that. So today I kind of wanted to talk about the myths and the facts of mental illness. So, today in social media, we see a lot of like misconceptions about what mental illness is and what mental health is and what mental wellness is. And for me, it's very frustrating as a therapist. When I see people using words like calling someone a narcissist, and it's like, so what makes them a narcissist?
Oh, that makes me
cringe. I hate it. It's cringing, right? Especially when you're in the field, or you've even truly dated or know someone that is truly a narcissist, and then people put that title on every single person. And so I think it is important for us, as people that are in the mental health field, to correct some things and say what's fact and what's myth. A lot of times people, instead of saying like, oh, someone has narcissistic tendencies or behaviors, they will just say like, oh, they're narcissistic. Interesting. My other favorite one is gaslighting. Everybody's not gaslighting, you guys. Okay, please stop using that word. I think I read a statistic today that said gaslighting, the word gaslighting in the year 2022, so just last year, went up in searches by 1,746%, is how much the word gaslighting was searched, put in the search engine on Google. And of course, people are searching it, then they're trying to figure out what it is, and then they're just applying it to everything. And then you see a lot of these other like podcasts or reels or other stuff where people are using the word incorrectly. So we're going to talk about the myths of mental illness. We're going to talk about what a true or some myths about narcissists and kind of what is actually facts. We're going to talk about what gaslighting actually looks like and what gaslighting is not. So, anything you want to add before we get started, sis?
Stop using them words. Oh my God. When people say narcissistic, I'm like, have y'all ever been in a full-blown relationship with a narcissist? You will have PTSD behind it. I have. Like, you'll have full PTSD behind it. Like, you be messed up. None of y'all are messed up from dating Tyrone that do too much lying and cheating. His ass ain't narcissist. He's just a liar. That's it. Stop dating.
He's just a liar. He's just a liar. That's it. Like, people can just be like liars. They're not narcissistic. Some people are just emotionally unavailable. It does not make them a narcissist. It's not. For me, it's just very like cringing, because it's like when you work with these kind of people and you truly know what it looks like, and you just hear people use it on social media, and it's like, you are using this so wrong. And then it's like the thing where I get on social media and I see people use the term, and then I be wanting to correct them, but I'm not going back and forth with nobody on social media. Let me be clear. I'm not arguing with nobody on social media. I'm not doing it. Like, I don't care about social media. It's not that deep for me. So I tap out of those conversations.
I'm in the room no more, because every time I do it, it'd be like 10,000 comments. So I listen.
I know that one time that you went viral, that shit was crazy, yo.
They were so much shit going back and forth.
Like, hey. You literally had like 10,000 likes on that joint. Hey, say.
I was cracking up. I was like, y'all really get here arguing about something that's so small. About
something
this
that had literally nothing to do with anybody, though. I can't even remember what it was, but it was like
Hazel E's mac and cheese.
Yes, Hazel E's mom's mac and cheese. Like, this girl don't know you. The mac and cheese was dry, bro. Like, just call it thing.
It's dry.
Here. Listen, I don't make dry mac and cheese. Let me just put that out there. I don't know if y'all saw Big Exclusives post yesterday, but I do a little something in the kitchen. I don't like to brag, but I just like to say.
Use peony noodles.
When I tell you that mac and cheese was so dry, and then it was burnt, and then it was dry. Like, that's the part, baby. Did you? Oh, I'm just sorry. All right, not too much. That's not what you said yesterday. That's not what you said.
I'm hollering.
But it just was a lot. Like, it was a lot. It was I be cooking. You know, I don't do potlucks, but we gotta have an event or something. You know, like, just a couple of but Shannon got me in trouble because
hey, you saw that game?
Shannon got me in trouble because now I gotta cook this meal again, so my sister can get a plate. You got me in trouble. Let's just put that out there.
I ain't cooking until November.
Mm-hmm. No, you got me. How I get you in trouble? Nah, you got to explain that. Either come on and tell us or put it in the comments. Okay?
Yeah, how you get in trouble? With a girl?
Probably with his baby mom. Mm-hmm.
She
I asked, was it okay? And I don't be disrespectful now. I don't do stuff like that. I asked.
He was home, got a meal. Eat a dick, lady. You'll be fine. Mind your business, bitch. The fuck is a plate?
Not the B word. Not too much.
Listen, when you mean like that.
Oh, not with the women. Okay. Well, who we got to know? Well, come on and tell us. Who you got in trouble?
This sounds dusty.
It does. It sounds like Queen of Dusty type of behavior.
Now with a woman, with a man. OG.
Did Kyle feel some type of way? Was it Kyle? Did he feel some type of way? Just let us know.
Who the hell's Kyle?
My food look good and tastes good. So I just need to know.
Kyle?
Like,
who's Kyle?
The Chef Kyle. The one they was grinding up.
Oh, I don't want to say his name.
Okay, but she's a woman.
She's a woman. Like, you know what, Shannon? Don't talk for the rest of the night.
Right, you got me in trouble with Tiff too. So now I owe both of them a plate.
Mm-hmm. Run it. Not one of my women. Oh my dear.
Okay, what was the typo? You should have put a typo.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
Roll your eyes.
I'm gonna just do a dinner at my house, and then we're gonna talk about it. We'll talk about it after the show. Okay.
I'll bring some.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh yes. You bring some. Matter of fact, let Big Exclusive mix wine. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk.
Well, you've been typing fast. I told you to come on. You took too long to type. You should have just came on and cleared it up quickly.
What you mean? That's not what you meant. You just said not my woman, but a woman. not
He
a
didn't
woman.
even say that. I told him to come on. He know how to use the link. If he'd have just came on and said what he needed, we wouldn't have to wait for the comments to come up. No, we got time for all that.
Is this one of those all and you type of things? Because is it like one of those is not like the
he
other
definitely
type?
was in trouble, Tiff. It's okay. Don't let up on him.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
I got nothing. All right. So the first myth is mental health problems are not that common. That is not you gonna head out. Stay. Please stay. It's always you. Somehow you always get barbecued. I don't even understand. Don't matter whose show.
Your network.
Always
go head on out. You don't have that option, sir.
Right. So one myth is that mental health problems are not that common. The truth is that mental health problems are very common. About 1 of every 5 people will experience a mental health issue in a given year. 1 of every 25 has a serious mental health disorder. These include anxiety, major depression, bipolar disorder, and schizophrenia. I'm sorry, T.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Is that right? So people that we know are struggling with mental health or mental illness. And there is a myth that it is not that common, not that many people have it, and that's just not true. I think the best way to dispel some of these myths is to actually talk about it and to understand that mental health is common. It is something that affects everyone, no matter race, ethnicity, nationality, religion. You can be affected by mental health. Now, how you deal with it may be, what's culturally appropriate based on how you were raised. I know that, again, in the African-American community, mental health was not something that was talked about. It was kind of one of those things that what happens in this house stays in this house. And all we did was foster trauma and foster kids that no longer know how to express themselves. That's always good.
It don't define you.
It's always good. Absolutely. And I love that, T, because this is the thing. It's nothing wrong with having a mental illness. I think for me, people that use their mental illness as a crutch or a way to get away with certain things is, hey, Jess, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. People that use their mental illness as a crutch really bother me. I remember when I used to work for the Philadelphia Housing Authority, and same situation like I was describing today with somebody being irate and just out of control. And they would call and they'd be angry. And I get it. Like, you've called 72 million times. I'm the first person that picked up. So again, you think you are going to use me as your emotional punching bag. And this is our first time having a conversation. Or maybe you were calling for me and I've just been busy. I have not had a chance to call you back. Well, I've been calling you. So my response was always, well, you got me on the phone now. So how can I help you? Because I'm not going back and forth. But a lot of times people would call and be very upset and like curse and just be completely disrespectful. And I'm good for putting somebody on hold and letting elevator music play or hanging up. I'm going to give you a second to calm down. Or I would get like really quiet. And then they'd be like, you still listening? You still there? Oh, yes. I was giving you the floor. I was allowing you to speak your piece. It's no need for me to try to compete and talk while you're talking. Makes no sense. And so then later on, it would be like, because I got bipolar disorder and I got this and I got that. That's wow. But you're still not going to talk to me any type of way. I don't care which one of them fucking voices in your head is telling you to do it. You better talk to them. Okay? You better talk to one of the 6 people in your head and tell them that we're not going to talk to Dominique like this. Because Dominique going to talk to one of the voices in her head. And then we all talking. So, hey, welcome. That's a new name. I don't think I've seen that name before. Welcome if you're new and welcome back if you're not. And so people often use mental illness as a crutch or an excuse to get away with different things. Is mental illness common? It's very common. Again, 1 in 5 people will experience a mental health issue in a given year.
You just saying that. You actually do have schizophrenia?
I'm not commenting on that. If that is a real thing. Hey, Royalty, we was looking at you. We should play on you, but I'm glad you're here.
Yeah. I always say that. So
I agree with that. I agree with that. So I actually, somebody posted something on Facebook about, the topic was about men shutting down, or like why men feel like why they can't talk to women. I think that was like the post, like why men feel like they can't talk to women.
Oh yeah.
And so I realized that because one, in the Black household, because we don't talk about mental wellness, we don't talk about mental illness, we just act like it does not exist. I think we as women, and I will share my 2 cents on what we as women do not do correctly when it comes to Black men. Because I can only speak for Black men here, people. Y'all know how I feel about a thing about Black men. I love me some Black men. I don't think we create a safe space for them. I think that as women, we do not create a safe space for Black men to talk. It becomes a thing where I say this to you guys all the time. We hear to respond. We don't listen to process. And so the moment that that man is expressing himself, and maybe he gets a little excited, or his tone changes because maybe he's emotional, because maybe he's trying to fight back tears, because we don't know what kind of day this man had. Okay, he didn't just work the 16-hour shift. He didn't came home, the job stressing him. He's ready to put his hands and feet on everybody, but he can't, because he's gonna get fired, and he got a family to take care of, and he don't want to hear your mouth. We don't create a safe space for our men to come home and have a conversation with us. And so we hear them, but we don't listen. And so the moment that they say something that is triggering to us, or we feel like it's an attack, we then shut down. And now everybody has shut down. So now we shut down, and now we completely cut them off. We do not allow them to talk. And now we're going back and forth when all this man was trying to do was come home to a safe place and express what he could not express all day out in society. And so I think that a lot of our Black men struggle with mental illness, but I think that talking about it will make them look weak, or will make them look soft, or man, ain't nothing wrong with you, like, man up. And it's just like, nah, he might be depressed. Like,
we also
got to be major depressive disorder.
We got to stop telling them that they too soft, because it don't
right,
equate to what you used to looking at. Oh, you do? Oh, more power to you. We don't define.
I do hope that with the medication, though, baby, whoever you are, that you are getting some type of behavioral therapy, some cognitive behavior therapy. For me, as a therapist, I do not agree with people that are just on antidepressants, or any type of SSRIs, benzodiazepines, any type of medication that will alter your mood, without some form of therapy. So I'm not sure if that is something that your doctor has recommended to you, if that's even something that you believe that you need. But as a therapist, I prefer my clients that if you are going to be on something, that you also seek some type of cognitive behavioral therapy with it, because you're supposed to. But I know a lot of people that are on, doctors are literally just writing scripts, and they are not following up to make sure that they are seeing. So they'll see a psychiatrist or a psychologist to get the medication, but then they won't follow up to make sure that they are actually seeing a licensed therapist. Or so, it's kind of up to the person. Like, if you know that you're depressed, you go to your doctor, you tell them you're depressed. Of course, they're going to write a script, right? They're in business with the pharmaceutical companies. But it's up to you to then make that decision if you're going to go and actually sit on someone's couch and have those conversations. You have mood disorders.
Huh? That's what psych evals is for. Now I'm talking from the residential side. That's what psych evals is for. You're supposed to have that in the medicine and then the person, but the psych eval is supposed to bring them in. But a lot of times, if they like heavily, like, you could be a functioning schizophrenic, and then they have the ones who are like in psychosis, then you got the ones that are like beyond that. Those people ain't going, they don't care about no damn therapist. They barely want to take their medicine. So then you have those. And then, but I'm like, the functioning ones, can we please encourage them to like go say voices and all that? If you do, some people don't hear voices. Stop the myth that every schizophrenic hear a voice. That's not always true.
Oh yes, honey, we're gonna get to that. That's on here too. So that's another thing though, right? When we think about disorders or mental illness, there's a difference between
right.
I agree. Like, you have to be able to effectively communicate and express whatever it is. And that's sad that, men or people, but men, we were still talking about the men, get crucified for expressing how they feel. Again, I think that sometimes as women, we do not create a safe space for men to feel like they can talk. But yeah, for me, if you want some type of medication, I need you to come on and
it takes
come on and
it
see
takes
somebody.
people, because sometimes therapists ain't no good.
And I agree with that, Mike, right? So it's really hard for people, especially Black men, to go and find a therapist that they actually trust. Again, it's very limited supply of people that look like us. But you also don't know who you're talking to. It's like this stranger, right? That you just met, and now you're telling me I have to trust you with all of my life secrets, all of my worst secrets, my best kept secret. Like, I have to trust you, then trust that you can actually help. And so I always implore people that when you are looking for a therapist, the same way when you go buy a house and you like, it meets 3 of these requirements, but not all of them next, or you go find that perfect apartment, that you wean out your therapist the same exact way, based on their education, based on their experience. Do they have any areas of expertise where they specialize in a certain thing? Is it trauma? Like my specialty is trauma. Is it addiction counseling? Do they do marriage and family therapy, or are they just really good at individual therapy? Do they specialize with children, or are they, or, is their thing more adults? I think that when you are looking for a therapist, sometimes it can be very hard to find that perfect person for you. But you have to do your homework. And so I always implore people to do your homework. And in the same way that you wean out, again, what apartment you're going to go move into, or house, or what car you're going to buy, or, you sitting there like, all right, I really want this perfume, but I want this bag, or whatever, those life decisions that you make. A therapist is just as important as any other decision that you will make. So having a good therapist does help with your mental illness and your mental wellness, because the ultimate goal is not for you to just stay in your mental illness. It is ultimately for you to be well and to be functional. The second myth is that children and teens don't have mental health problems. So a lot of times we will think that children and teens don't have mental health problems, that they're just acting out. They just want attention. Now some of them are, but research shows that 1 in 5 teenagers have or will have a mental illness, according to the Center for Disease and Control, the CDC. In 2021, more than 4 in 10 students felt persistently sad or hopeless, and nearly a third experienced poor mental health. Agree. I agree. I absolutely agree with you, Royalty. And 50% of the adults who have a mental issue, the first signs showed up at or before the age of 14. These problems are not the results of bad parenting. So don't think you're a bad parent if your child is experiencing some mental health issues. They are a combination of many factors. Many of these factors are beyond the child or parent's control. Negative events in a childhood can contribute to mental health issues in teens and adults. So we talked about on the show before, complex trauma, different levels of trauma, things that happen to you when you're a child, or even things that happen to you as you get older and you never deal with them, you never process them, you never say it out loud, you never talk it through, you never, affirm yourself or give yourself those affirmations that it's okay not to be okay. And I know that's so cliche, but it really is okay not to be okay. Like, we're given one life. Life can fight. She definitely got hands. Had to be training with Mike Tyson. And I think sometimes we forget that we're humans. Like, we're not robots. We're not going to be robotic. We have to kind of address and deal with things as they come. But you're going to have your days where you're going to feel defeated. And that's okay. Just don't stay there. Again, life can fight. Life be kicking our ass sometimes. So it's okay to have those moments where you are sad, or you are feeling depressed, or you're feeling anxious, or you're feeling overwhelmed. It is what you do in that moment to overcome those feelings that's what matters. Mm-hmm. So anything you want to add, sis?
No, put Royalty comment back up. He said the therapists be bringing their personal energy. Were you a trained therapist? Yeah, you're a therapist, you're not supposed to bring the thing personal. You're not even supposed to know that I got a wart on the back of my ass. Like, you're not supposed to know nothing about me. Like, nothing. Like, nothing.
And that's not a good therapist. Most therapists that do stuff like that are therapists that have not worked through their own issues.
The therapist themselves.
Right. So I used to work for a private practice. Some tools that I would give to help somebody that may be stuck or kind of in those emotions. This is not like the end all be all for everyone that is listening. This is honestly, as a therapist, it would be tailored to whoever my client is. But every day you have to choose you. And so when we talk about positive affirmations or affirmations that people say, I promote that to my clients. I promote my clients finding something to say positive or something to affirm about themselves. Mm-hmm. So in the beginning, it may be hard to say, I am bigger than my circumstance. I am worthy of love. I deserve healing. It may be hard to say those things because you may not believe it initially. Mm-hmm. Write sticky notes. Stick it on your mirror. Like whatever your routine is in the morning, if the very first thing you do is go take a piss, or drink a bottle of water, then go to the bathroom, put sticky notes in the bathroom. Put sticky notes on the mirror. Because if you know every morning that you look in the mirror to brush your teeth, you say those affirmations to yourself every morning, every day. And eventually you will start believing those things that you are speaking over your life. The Bible says that we have life and death in the power of the tongue. And so if you begin to speak life over yourself, you begin to speak positivity over yourself, eventually you will begin to believe those things. And the universe will do what the universe does. And you will affirm those things and the universe will work itself out. I also do mindfulness techniques, emotional regulation techniques with my clients. So I'm very big on telling clients to meditate. I meditate not as often, but meditation is great. I think I told you guys this before. I love candles. Candles is like my ultimate thing. And so if I want to meditate, I will get one of my favorite candles. I'll sit on the floor if it's comfortable for my back. I'll cross my legs and I will either put on white noise or I will put on absolutely nothing. And the point of meditation is a grounding technique. So we do grounding techniques here. Meditation is a way for you to ground yourself and to be present in the moment. And so when you're present in the moment, you have to literally allow everything that is in your head that is not positive to escape. You have to let it go. Learning to let go of things you cannot control, as easy as that may sound, it's not, because we want to be in control of everything, right? We want to have our hands in everything. We want to control life, but that's not how life works. And so getting to a place where you realize this is what I can control. This is what I cannot, and letting that go. And so when you meditate, have your candle, or, if candles are your thing, have your incense. I know people that do crystals. If that is what you believe in, more power to you. Get your crystals. Each crystal represents something different for you. Listen, no tea, no shade. I can't tell anybody what to do with their spirituality or how they are spiritually connected. But whatever it is that you believe centers you and grounds you, meditation is great for that. Breathing techniques is great for that. To just sit and breathe and listen to yourself breathe and feel your body. Again, ground yourself. Actually feel present in the moment. When you are present in the moment, you can feel what your body is doing. You can feel your heart. You know what pace your heart is going. You can even smell the candles if candles is what you decide to do. You can touch your crystals. Each crystal is going to feel different. Each crystal represents something different. If it happens to be raining outside or you're listening to white noise, you can actually listen to the sounds. If you can hear all of those things and feel all of those things that are happening for you, you have properly grounded yourself, because you are present in that moment and you are aware of everything that is going around you, which means if you are focused on what you hear and what you can feel, and your body touching the ground or the pillow or whatever you decide to sit on, then that means that is one less thing that is in your head that is negative that you are thinking about. Journaling. I'm really big on journaling. Write down your thoughts. Sometimes we don't have a safe person that we can talk to about kind of what's going on. And so we had diaries as little girls, right? So diaries is not just for little girls. Journal what you feel. I always tell my clients, I give them a composition book at the beginning of every therapy session. And then when they are, at least we do like quarterly. So if they're like 3 months in, I have them read their very first journal entry. And then I have them tell me, do they feel like they have grown or progressed since they first started therapy? And then we may wait another 6 months. Hey, do you feel like you have changed since that? As they have referred me to therapy, I was good since a child. Sounds like trauma, right? Childhood trauma, because that becomes your defense mechanism.
Mm-hmm. You don't onset until you're like a child. If they diagnose the child, I've seen that had schizophrenic, it was bad. So that means you probably like suppressed whatever, what was going on.
That traumatic experience. Yep.
Yeah, you seem like you're doing well now. It's not bad. It almost sounds like you're saying it as like a bad thing, but it's not bad.
It's not a bad thing. You just have to learn how to manage it. So those are some tools that I would say for being in that moment. Control what you can control. And allow yourself to feel. We're not robots, right? Have your moment. If you need to cry, you need to scream, you need to yell, you need to punch a pillow, whatever you are feeling, have that moment. Too many times we suppress our emotions. And then we get in situations like I explained to you guys earlier, where I had the mom yelling at me, and it was just like, oh, you're trying to use me as your emotional punching bag, because whatever you're going through, you have not probably even had that conversation with that person. Allow yourself to feel, because all you do is continue to sweep the dust under the rug until eventually someone's going to trip over it, i.e. you. And like Royalty said, it is like a
no, it's not distraction.
Not really a distraction. It's
you think that make you happy. That's it. Just do something that makes you instead of sad.
Make you happy. Replace those negative, intrusive thoughts with positive thoughts, positive affirmations. Because distractions only last as long as distractions last. So yeah, you're going to distract yourself in the moment, but then after that, that thought is going to come back. No, you need to be able to have those skills and those tools that you need, that when those thoughts come back, or when those feelings come back, or they erupt all over again, you at least have a pocket full of tools. You can say, well, when I felt like this, or my heart started racing, or I started feeling sad and depressed, I didn't want to get out the bed, or I started feeling overwhelmed, meditation worked for me, or journaling worked for me, or taking a walk worked for me. I have like the weirdest thing. So I'm anemic, so I get really cold really quickly. But what's always like really soothing for me when I get upset, or I'm just like hot, or my body's overheating because I'm pissed off, I will go take a shower in hot water, because I love hot water. All girls love hot water. You like to burn our skin off. And then I will go to my door. And I will go to my door, and I will let that cool air hit my face and hit my body. And after that, I've pretty much calmed down. So no, it's not a distraction. The things I'm giving you are tools that you are supposed to be putting in your pocket and holding on to, so that the next time you are feeling any of those things that I just listed, you have a frame of reference that you can go to. That's the whole point of therapy, right? We are therapists because we are here to teach you skills and techniques, right? Because you're not going to be our clients forever. At some point, we want to discharge you. At some point, we want you to go your way and take those skills and techniques and tools that we have taught you and use them to be a functioning individual in the world. So meditation, going for a walk, drinking tea, sometimes just relaxing. Again, getting your brain to unwind and to relax. Because the thing with when we do cognitive behavior therapy, I always say cognitive behavior therapy is you think, therefore you do, right? So if it starts up here in the brain and you are thinking it, now you've made up stuff that has not occurred, right? Because that's what anxiety is. You get really anxious, you get really overwhelmed about a situation. And so you start to make up scenarios in the situation that have not occurred. Like you think of the worst case scenario, and you get anxious, and now your body is sweating, your heart is racing, your hands are sweating, or you give yourself a headache, or you get those butterflies in your stomach because right, Shannon, I do it too, right? So I'm no saint here. I suffer really bad from anxiety, and I create scenarios in my head that literally keep me up at night. Like I will literally be up for like 2 or 3 hours. I'll go to the bathroom and then I've come back and then I just sat here and thought about 60. Like, bro, when do you go back to sleep? Like, this was not even a frame of thought before you went to the bathroom. And so we will create things in our head, and now we've gotten ourselves all worked up. So again, cognitive behavior therapy, in my mind, the way I tell my clients, basically what we're going to do, you think, therefore you do. If I can help you to recognize your thought process and what triggers you up here, then it will be a domino effect on the behavior that you display. If you think something up here, you're going to act it out. So that is the behavior aspect of it. So it's all mental. That's why I said meditation, yoga, taking a walk, taking a shower, drinking some hot tea, getting out of your head, pouring back into yourself positive affirmations. Positive affirmations are very important because you already have enough ruminating thoughts. You have enough intrusive thoughts already in your head. You're already creating scenarios that have not occurred. So how about we take those out and we put some more positive stuff in? Again, I am worthy of love. I am worthy of healing. I am on my healing journey. Whatever it is that you need to tell yourself on a continuous basis until you believe it, you speak that over your life.
I don't do none of that. I'm not even gonna hold you.
You need to be in therapy. So
I don't do none of that. I actually do.
You need to be in therapy. Tell us what
or go get a massage.
Massages are great. But this is the thing, right? Again, it starts up here. I can tell you how many times I went to go get a massage and I'm laying on that table and it feels great, but I can't really enjoy it because I'm in here. So this is what I'm saying. We have great child. I think it
works for you. I think if you're a person that it works for you, it works for you. If the other thing works for you, it works for you. It helps me relax my mind because I don't know. It's something about the music and the
But that's what I'm saying. Massages are great. Massages are great.
Make sure the person has got a good spirit that be touching you too. Don't be letting everybody with bad spirits and shit touch you though.
Right. But listen, I agree with you. Massages and meditation and yoga, I think those are all great. Before you go get a massage, though, it is the same thing. A massage can be looked at as a grounding technique because you are laying flat, right? You're on a sturdy surface. You got the music playing. You got the aromas. You are to clear your mind. You are not to think about anything that you got to do after that, anything you had to do before that, not the argument you just had, none of that. Massages are truly for you to go and to relax and to detox your body and detox your mind. It starts from here. That's why my business is mind, body, soul, because I work to heal the entire person. We work together. Let's start with your mind. Then we work on what's inside your body, and then we work on the soul. So that was the second myth. Now, the third myth is people with mental issues are violent and dangerous. Not saying they are not, depending on which diagnosis you have, but a large majority of mentally ill people are not violent. According to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, only about 3 to 5% of violent acts are committed by a person with symptoms of mental illness. In fact, people with serious mental issues are 10 times more likely to be a victim of violence. And I think we know that because, again, the moment that you start to tell people, I have this or I have that, you become a target, unfortunately. That's why I said people that use their mental illness as a crutch, do not do that. If you have been diagnosed with something, listen, take your meds, go to therapy, if that is what you choose to do. But living your truth, right? Like, yes, you have this mental illness, but this mental illness does not have you. It should not it shouldn't overtake you. You shouldn't feel like every decision you make is like, oh, I made this decision because I have blah. There is light at the end of the tunnel with all mental illnesses. Now there are some mental illnesses where, unfortunately, if people do not take their medication, more personality disorders, and some mood disorders, where they can be violent. Both, you can be extremely violent. Like, I have an uncle who has schizophrenia. I have an uncle, he has schizophrenia, he has bipolar 1. He has some form of like psychosis. You aren't your illness. Exactly, Reek. You aren't your illness. And let me tell you, my uncle is very pleasant when he on them medications. Right. And that's a whole other thing, right? And so he is the sweetest person when he's on his meds. And when he's not, he is very aggressive. He gets very mean. And he got like this crazy ass strength. Like he just it's people that got mental illnesses, they're very different. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve love. You know, I try not to deal with him when he is off his medication because it gets very different when you're in the field. It's a lot, right? When it's personal, it becomes different. Like I can tell somebody if I'm, you know, I'm getting paid to tell them, hey, this is how you handle it. But when it's your own family member, it's like F all this textbook psychology stuff, nigga. You do something else, and it's gonna be me and you. Like that's really what I be wanting to say. I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't gonna hold y'all. That's really how I be wanting to handle him. But I realize that sometimes the mental illness does take over his mind. And sometimes he is too far gone. But I also realized that my uncle was chronically homeless for 20 plus years, so that did not help his mental illness. So it's some things that he just will never be able to come back from. But you know. So yeah, so like, oh, I love that. Thank you, Miss Waller. So yes, you are not your mental illness. You do not have to be a victim to your mental illness, and you do not have to use it as a crutch. Mental health problems are a sign of weakness. That is a myth. The fact is, mental illness has nothing to do with strength or weakness. It is a medical disorder that needs treatment in the same way an infection, high blood pressure, or a broken bone needs treatment. If you need help with a mental issue, you are not weak. Many factors are involved in mental health. So, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, for me. Nope, I think that was to Ms. Waller. Many factors are involved in mental health, including brain chemistry. So the levels of different chemicals in your brain can have an effect on how your mental illness works. Diseases or injuries. Suffering from a long-term illness or injury can affect your mental health as well. Life experiences, like someone just shared. This includes going through a traumatic event or having a very stressful job or home life. Or family history. Having a parent with a mental health problem could increase your risk of having one. So mental illness runs in my family. It's always like a fear of mine. It's like, I'm always so concerned. Like, if I had more kids or even me, because, I think I'm past the age of onset with, certain mental illnesses, but it still is always something that is in the back of my mind. Another myth. When someone develops a mental health problem, they will have it for the rest of their lives. They will never recover. That is a myth. Mental health doesn't stay the same. It goes up and down over the course of your life. Many factors can influence how you feel. If any of these factors change, your mental health can change. With treatment, many of the problems you may develop are temporary. A good treatment plan will help you work through your problem and recover. This doesn't necessarily mean the problem has gone away. Once you make it public knowledge, the stigma stays. Absolutely. And that's the unfortunate part, because we hold on to these stigmas with people, and then we, even if they don't want to use it as a crutch, we put those stigmas on people. And so we are basically like, no, take your crutches back. Take your crutches back. They're like, I don't want them. I got it. I'm fine. They're like, no, take them back. You got to take them back because you got this. So you need this. And we start to treat people differently, and we shouldn't. So again, this is why we talk about mental illness and we try to raise awareness for it, specifically in our community, because I think we are being held down with crutches that we no longer need. But you can find a way to live with it and still be a productive member of society. So at the same time, feeling better might not mean you're cured. You may have to continue with your treatment plan even after you feel better. Some mental health problems never go away. These usually are more serious conditions such as schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. But some cases of depression and anxiety are temporary and go away after. So some things stay with you, some things you can get rid of, but either way, You live in your truth. You live in your moment. You take your treatment. You create goals for yourself. You set goals. When you're in therapy, we do treatment plans with our clients. And we say we do short-term goals, we do long-term goals. We do goals that are achievable to the client, goals that we actually know the client will succeed in. These goals may even come with doing homework. Like I give my clients homework because I need to know that you're serious about therapy. That's just me. I need to know. Are you going to do the work? I can't come here every week and just listen to you and then you go home and then you come back next week with the same problem. And it's like, did you do the homework assignment? You didn't do the homework assignment. Oh, we're going to still talk about that from last week. Okay. To me, you're wasting your money. Not that I'm not going to take it, but I am going to let you know you're wasting your money. Because if you're not going to put forth the effort or the work or apply the skills or the tools that we are teaching you, then you are literally wasting your money. What's wrong, sis? You look like you are sleepy. Mm-mm. Okay. You sure? Mm-mm. Anything you want to add?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I agree. Royalty. Homework is important.
Yeah.
I give homework. Shit, I don't know how therapists don't give homework. Like you don't want to see if they've been listening or paying attention to sessions, anything you've been saying. It's just like school, right? You get homework in school, right?
I got your money. I don't care.
You get homework in school, right? I mean, I think the concept of homework is absolutely ridiculous. But listen, it has a purpose. So I need to know that what I've been teaching you and slaving over this chalkboard for all these weeks, that when I give you, homework and you're going to go home and do it, and that's how you learn, because repetition is how you learn. And then I'm going to give you a pop quiz, or I'm going to give you a scheduled test, because we've been working on this for weeks. For me, a pop quiz or a test, when it comes to clients, is a moment where you are triggered by whatever the reason that brought you into therapy. That is your pop quiz. So you come to therapy, you come to see me, you get homework, I give you tools, I give you skills, you come do the homework, we talk about the homework, you give me your thought process of why you answered the way you answered. I give you my interpretation of why I think or believe that you answered the way you did. And then life happens, right? And then 2 weeks fast forward, maybe you miss a session and something triggers you. That's your pop quiz. That's your pop quiz. You are now being tested on what it is that you have learned through our weeks of session. Now, the scheduled test could be like, oh, we working on forgiveness. And yeah, I need you to go and forgive your mom and dad for that thing that they did. Mm-hmm. I need you to go on and forget that ex-husband and ex-wife for that thing that they did. Mm-hmm. That is a scheduled homework assignment where we build up to it, and then you go and execute what it is that you have learned. And we even work out and do play therapy where we role play and we do scenarios that if they respond this way, is you going to pop off and do all of this, or are you going to sit there and listen? Those are the type of homework assignments that I give. Because again, the goal is to at least at some point say bye. It's been nice. I want to go from seeing you weekly to then bi-weekly, to then maybe just once a month check-ins, to maybe every 5 to 6 week check-ins. Because at some point, hey, Deandra, I need to know that you are taking what I am teaching you, which you will also have brung into session because you realize the way you've been doing it ain't been working. And now you're learning. But can you put Royalty's comment back up? I actually did not get a chance to read it. Someone where you are challenged with things. Yep. Exactly. And Royalty, listen, it's not easy, right? Because when you in that heated moment, okay, when a nigga testing your patience, okay, you don't be like, let me think what my therapist said. Sometimes you can't respond that way.
It can.
Like, what if I sure hope it doesn't, sweetheart. Like, I really do.
It could come in dementia. Dementia
and I was going to say that, but I was trying to be
schizophrenia.
I was trying to be positive. I hope it doesn't, but yes, unfortunately, when they say get worse, yes, dementia, some form of Alzheimer's, and unfortunately, dementia clients. I actually have a neighbor on my block who has dementia. Unfortunately,
Woo. Did it once? They got that.
It's a lot, and it's like she's so grow up. So
nerves, child. Y'all grandmama, y'all granddaddy got on my fucking nerves. Like,
Look, they're very violent. Dementia clients are very violent, and they like to elope a lot. They will run, and if they are escape artists, baby, they will get the hell up on out of there. I don't know who they be listening to, but they will leave.
Where you going?
They got to get out of there. That's always what I hear, is that they have to get out of there. And so, you know, then you have to put things in place. But listen, we're not claiming nothing. I do pray and hope that your schizophrenia does not get worse as you get older, and that at some point there will be a cure for it, or something that is just more manageable for you. And so we like to speak positivity. That's how we started this off, right? Positive affirmations, taking out those intrusive, negative, overwhelming thoughts and pouring back into ourselves more positive thoughts. So I'm going to speak positivity, that it does not worsen for you and that it does get better. That is my hope and prayer for you. So another myth, and I hear this all the time. I hear this from a lot of, unfortunately, Black men, that therapy is a waste of time. I hear it a lot. I don't know why, but the fact is, some people may not be comfortable with therapy, and that's okay. They're afraid that they'll have to go back into their childhoods. But modern therapists, or therapy, is designed to be short-term. It focuses on problems and solutions. Research has shown that it is very effective in treating mental illness. It usually most effective when used in a combination with medicine. So what I was saying to, I see you got your YouTube name. If you don't mind sharing your name, you know, if you feel comfortable. If not, that's okay. I just, you know, I want to lift your name up in prayer when I go to bed tonight. But as we said, right, that my advice was to do therapy, and if you're going to be on medication, not one without the other. It's a waste of time because of how they were raised to express their emotions. Absolutely. And we got to denounce that. We gotta take that generational curse that has been placed on our Black men and begin to create safe spaces for them, and for them to know that they can come and talk to somebody. It ain't you telling somebody your business. It's this licensed, this trained, this educated professional helping you work through. And this is the thing about therapy. We don't tell you guys nothing that y'all don't already know. My sister can attest to this. As therapists, we don't tell you nothing that you don't already know. Sis, you coming to me about this relationship, you knew you wasn't even supposed to be in.
You knew it wasn't shit from the root.
You knew it, like, you know what I mean? You coming to me talking some Dom, like, you know, all the women that I deal with, this how I treat them. But you know, my mom once showed, you knew you had mommy issues before you walked through my door. You knew that was the reason why you was out here wilding out with these chicks the way you was. So when I say you guys know what you need to do, it's just hard to do what it is that you know you need to do, because who wants that reality check? Who wants that accountability? And so what therapy should do is help you realize the stuff that you already know about yourself. And then we just give you clinical tools and clinical ways of how to deal with such things. Because, you know, I have a very bad temper. I've gotten way better over the years. All my friends that actually know me, my sister, people that have known me for like years, know. Like, I used to be quick to put my hands on people. Not so much so at 30 plus, and I got a lot to lose, so I don't do that anymore. The tools are to help you learn how to do something differently. So before I was put my hands on people, I want to fight. I want to hop out my car, jump out. Let's go. Come on. It's up. It's stuck. We active. Now I'm more like, walk away and breathe, and keep breathing, and keep breathing, and keep breathing until you have calmed yourself down. Now, it may still take me a little longer to calm myself down, but what I do not do is physically put my hands on anybody. I will just breathe until I have calm myself down. Even if it takes an hour, I'll watch something, I'll say a prayer. I will do what it is that I feel like I need to do to get myself back grounded. I may come home and take a hot bath. I may light a candle. I listen to white noise every night. That is one of my ways of going to sleep, and for the most part, and not allowing all of those ruminating and intrusive thoughts that are in my head to come to surface. So white noise is absolutely amazing for anybody that listens to it. I know some people can't sleep with noise on, because I'm that person. I can't sleep with light. I can't sleep with like crazy noise. But for some reason, white noise and whatever it does chemically to the brain is absolutely amazing. So also with that therapy is a waste of time, studies found that 70 to 90% of people reported an improvement in their symptoms when both were part of the treatment. So if you are on medication and you have therapy, it says that 70 to 90% of those people said that they had improved symptoms. Another myth is that there's nothing I can do to help someone with a mental health problem. That is not true. There are things that you can do. There are many things that you can do, actually. You can let them know that you are there if they need you, help them find a mental health service they need, learn about what they are going through, treat them with respect. Don't call them crazy. Calling somebody crazy, or if someone's having a manic episode, telling them to calm down, the fastest way to get punched.
Stop.
And even if they don't have a mental illness and somebody is just irate and upset, telling someone to calm down, because in their mind, they're calm. This is what I need y'all to understand, okay? Because I'm that person. Don't tell me to calm down, because in my mind, I'm calm. And telling me to calm down is insinuating that I'm not calm. And now I feel like you are trying to belittle me or take away what I'm feeling. It's like you're just trying to hush me up. That's what it feels like. I don't like that. Don't hush me up. Let me say what I'm going to say, because you done got me to this point, baby. Okay? You done got me active. So let me express what I need to express, and then I will calm down on my own. But don't tell a person they're crazy. Don't tell them to calm down. Express your support in ways that they can understand. Not ways you understand, ways they can understand. Get help for yourself if you need it. Don't give up on them, and encourage them to be physically active and even exercise with them. These are ways that you can help. Now, let's talk about what gaslighting is and what it is not, because I said we were going to talk about the myths of gaslighting because everybody likes to use the term incorrectly. So let me tell you what gaslighting is not. When we're challenged or confronted or told, hey, I remember this differently, we might think we're being gaslit. We are not being gaslit, people. We are actually being confronted on a behavior and asked to change it. So if someone comes to you and they're challenging or they're confronting you, or like I said, if they're telling you like, hey, I remember that scenario a little differently, or I remember that conversation a little differently, this is what I remember. It's not them trying to manipulate the situation. It is them trying to confront you about your behavior, and they are making a request that you change your behavior. Does not mean you are being gaslit. As opposed to being told that you are bad, or that we don't remember things correctly, or that we're emotionally unstable. That is someone gaslighting you. So if someone is telling you like you're a bad person, or making you feel like the villain, or that you don't remember things correctly, that's not at all how it happened, and just trying to make you feel bad and pointing a finger at you, or even saying things like you're emotionally unstable, or emotionally this, emotionally that, that is someone that is trying to gaslight you. But someone that is trying to confront you on an unfavorable or unwarranted or unwanted behavior, or telling you like, hey, I kind of remember that situation a little differently, this is my encounter, that's not someone trying to gaslight you. So please, y'all, stop using that damn word wrong, okay? If I see it one more time on social media, I'm going to pull my head.
Told you something truthful about yourself, they're not gaslighting you. It's the
They're
truth.
not gaslighting you. They call it a thing.
You suck, basically. So accept it.
And so let me add this. Not all gaslighting is intentional. As some people grow up witnessing these patterns and subconsciously adapt them as a coping mechanism or conflict resolution method. So every time somebody gaslights you, they may not intentionally be doing it. It's just that this is the defense mechanism that they were raised on. And this is what they saw in their household. This is a pattern of behavior that they have adapted. It works for them. It keeps them safe. Does not mean they're doing it intentionally. Now, I'm not saying all people that gaslight y'all are doing it, are not doing it intentionally, because some people that gaslight very much will do it so that they can have the upper hand. But sometimes people really do just gaslight because it is a defense mechanism for them, because that is all they know.
I mean, what if you just petty and can't help it then?
And then sometimes you just petty. Sometimes people ain't gaslighting you, they just petty as hell.
I'm petty. I might come back with something harder just because I feel like.
Oh, we know you petty.
I'm petty. I'm trying to grow up.
No, you're not. You want to be a Toys R Us kid all your life. You don't want to grow up. You don't want to grow up.
A little bit. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so let's get into narcissism. Okay, let's talk about some myths of narcissism. The myth number 1 is that all narcissists are extremely self-confident. That's a myth. Okay, the reality is, the reality is right. The reality is that what appears to be narcissistic and self-confidence is a very thin line, right? It is a defensive facade that is an attempt to impress other people, okay? Stabilize their own self-esteem and manage their self-doubt and shave off feelings of shame and self-hatred. So again, there's a myth that says all narcissists are extremely self-confident, and I am here to tell you that the fact is they are not. 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 No. It's a facade. It's all fake. Don't believe it. Myth number 2, all narcissists intend to hurt those close to them. The reality is that narcissists are often oblivious to the harm that they are causing. They are trying to get their own emotions and practical needs met. A great deal of the hurt that they cause is simply collateral damage, and it is not their goal.
Yep.
Their goal is getting their goal is getting narcissistic supplies or defending themselves from what they perceive as a devastating attack on their self-esteem or sense of importance.
Delusion. Just like y'all was capping on that chick last week with delusion.
Crazy delusional.
Yeah, that's narcissism. I'm just playing.
We're not talking about last episode.
I'm just, some of them girls be on them TikTok videos with narcissism tendencies. They be delusional. Well, I'm like this and I'm like that. And it's like, no. You're
Myth
7.
Myth number 3. All narcissists are sexually immoral. The reality is that narcissists differ a great deal in their standards for their own behavior. I know narcissists who never cheated. Listen, I know narcissists who have never cheated on their mates, and others who are liars and engage in compulsive sexual behavior.
This is hilarious.
I'm just trying to tell y'all what narcissist is before y'all go on and start calling folks this. Make sure you're using the term correctly. One thing we're going to do here on Melanated Vibrations is we're going to educate y'all. Okay. Myth number 4. All narcissists are master manipulators. That is a myth. Actually, the reality is that while I have met a few narcissists who are good long-term planners and great at manipulating other people, they are as rare as great chess players. Okay? So they're not all great master manipulators. And not so dissimilar from them. So most narcissists are more similar to children. Okay? Children. Just paint this image. Most narcissists are more similar to children who learn by trial and error how to get what they want from their parents. The whole kicking, screaming, yelling, tantrum falling out. Yeah, y'all know. For y'all that got kids that's older, that was children, or y'all got babies and y'all seeing it now. Right. They take advantage of the other person's willingness. Okay? Their willingness to give into them. Okay? If you have your own firm boundaries, pay attention to what is actually going on. And don't doubt your own judgment. You are likely to see right through most narcissistic attempts to manipulate you. So follow your own mind. Okay, follow your own mind. You know, if you have boundaries and that are set in place, hold firm to those boundaries, because the moment that someone that is narcissistic or has narcissistic tendencies can get any type of wiggle room, they're going to take it. Myth number 5, all narcissists are predators. The reality of this is that narcissists are people like the rest of us, right? So narcissists need other people to validate them in order to maintain their sense of self-worth. Their disorder leads them to be insensitive to the feelings and needs of those around them. They lack emotional empathy and are very self-centered. This combination of need plus insensitivity plus self-centeredness often leads people with narcissistic personality disorder to be overly selfish and single-minded in their pursuit of what they want. So I'm not going to say they're not predators, but they have a goal in mind. They have a very one-track mind. They need to accomplish what it is that they need to accomplish. They need people to validate them along the way. They need to have a sense of self-worth, even if it's at your own expense of your self-worth and your boundaries and how you feel about a thing. They don't care. All narcissists are evil. That's myth number 6. The reality is that narcissists may behave in harmful ways, but they are not inherently evil. They are bad at intimate relationships, but many of them do a great deal of good in the world. Many of our hospitals, libraries, cultural institutions, and schools are supported by exhibitionists who are narcissists, who get their narcissistic supplies from doing good deeds. Because again, they need the validation, they need the accolades, they need to have a sense of self-worth. All they ask in return is to have the hospital wing or theater displayed with their name on there. They just put their name on the board in dedication of, put their name somewhere. Myth number 7 is the last one. All narcissists are charming. And this is a myth. The reality is that while some narcissists can be superficially charming when you first meet them, others are quite boring and annoying. We all know some. The charming ones are good at telling stories that make their lives sound fascinating and are likely to know how to make a good first impression. Because, first impressions count, right? Their charm wears thin after you hear them tell the same stories over and over again. Realize that they have absolutely no interest in your life and use the same techniques with everyone they meet. So you always have that person that's got to be the loudest person in the room, or got to tell this grandiose story, and it's like everywhere they go they got to tell this extravagant story, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like it's literally, it holds no weight after you've heard the story for the 5th or 6th time. So every party you go to, every wedding, it could be something like a God complex royalty. Some narcissist people have that God complex, right? But I think that people that have that God complex are a little bit more bold with their stuff. But they are also people that look for that self-worth. They are also that people that look to be praised. They also look for that validation. So yes, someone that is a true narcissist could also have that God complex where they want to feel superior over everyone else. Again, it's not that they're doing it intentionally. Sometimes narcissistic people do things intentionally, but it is a way for them to always be the center of attention, to always get the validation that they need. But unfortunately, they're not emotionally available to you. They don't know how to show empathy, because if it does not benefit them, then why are we even talking about it? So tonight's episode was about myths versus facts of mental illness, and some myths about some common words that we hear: gaslighting, narcissists. I think a lot of times social media, it just gets funneled around, right? We're using words, we're throwing words out there. We truly do not know the meaning of it. And it sounds good to say like, oh, you're gaslighting me. I'm just calling you out and trying to hold you accountable for, what you said or what you did. Everyone that calls you out or confronts you or just wants to have boundaries is not gaslighting you. You know when someone is gaslighting you, but because someone has firm boundaries does not mean that they are gaslighting you. It is okay for you guys to have boundaries. I tell you guys this all the time. Have boundaries. Have your list of non-negotiables, things that you are just not willing to accept from anyone. This is how you maintain and have healthy. Thank you, baby. I'm definitely going to keep you in my prayers, sweetheart. I'm definitely going to pray because I don't want that for you. I do not. Have boundaries. Have your non-negotiables that no matter what interpersonal relationship you are in, that you will hold true to those boundaries. So the same way you hold those women, for the women out there, for us women that's out there dating that like men, that's in relationships, the same way you hold your girlfriends accountable for the stuff that they do, make sure you hold that man accountable too. Okay? Hold your partner accountable. If you don't like men, whatever, that's cool too. I don't care. Hold all people accountable. Do not give a pass to one and then not the other. A lot of times we don't have good boundaries, and our interpersonal relationships show that we do not have good boundaries. I hope that tonight's episode was no problem, Reek. I hope tonight's episode was helpful for you. Remember, if you are feeling anxious, you're feeling overwhelmed, intrusive thoughts, please, I implore you to go and try to find a therapist. I am open. I am taking clients. Guys can follow me on Instagram. It's melanated_vibrations. That is my IG business page. You can DM me. But go talk to somebody. Okay. Life be life. And again, like I said, she got hands. She can fight. Okay. Thank you, Royce. She can fight. Okay. And sometimes we have to just have the right tools and the right skills to make sure that when life be life, and we don't just give up and throw the towel. Okay. We can't just give up. Suicide is not an option. Let me tell y'all that. Okay. I'd rather y'all come on here and put y'all stuff in the comments or jump in my DMs than for me to be visiting any of y'all at a cemetery. I do not want that for anybody. And I know life is hard. I know life is overwhelming. I know sometimes we just want to tap out and just say, you know what, enough's enough. But understand that there are people here that need you. There are people here that love you, and you serve a greater purpose here on earth. It may not seem like it, or it may not seem like you've figured out what your purpose is, but trust and believe that God has put all of us here for a greater purpose and for such a time as this, as they say, right? So I want you to hold on to yourself, affirm yourself, talk to yourself, speak life into yourself, meditate, yoga, go get that massage, go to bed, get them thoughts out your head, listen to some white noise if you have to. Okay, drink some chamomile tea to help relax your body. Take that shower before you go to bed. Take a nice hot bath. Relax your body. You then relax your mind. Get those thoughts out your mind. You are bigger. You are greater than those thoughts. Do not allow those thoughts to overwhelm you. Do not allow those thoughts to overtake you. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of healing. You are worthy of every good thing that this earth, this universe, that our God has to offer to us. I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining Melanated Vibrations. Don't forget the big exclusive podcast comes on tomorrow. Okay, like when I tell y'all we got a week worth of shows, okay, because I don't want y'all to miss nothing. Okay, so you got Melanated Vibrations on Monday at 7. You got the big exclusive podcast, okay, with big exclusive himself, Angry OG, and Top Flight, and I love their special guests. You just never know who's gonna pop in. Okay, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Make sure y'all tune in, turn y'all notifications on, and then y'all gonna go to Hump Day, Wednesday, my favorite day. Okay, and then you have Women's Wellness Wednesdays with Reek and T. Okay, I absolutely love this show. I look so forward to Wednesdays. Like, I love it. Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Again, back on the big exclusive network, and then y'all gonna go ahead on over to my brother's podcast, okay, the Ant Money Experience, where Ant gonna keep it real. He gonna let you know what the real is. He gonna get your buy-in. He wanna know, his ear is to the streets. And y'all gonna just talk about whatever y'all gonna talk about. It's gonna go left. It's definitely gonna go left, but it's worth it, okay? But it's worth it. So we give you a great lineup Monday through Thursday. We got shows coming for Friday. Listen, we trying to be up in y'all face 7 days a week, so y'all never forget about us, okay? So go to YouTube, type in the big exclusive network. If you are not following it, turn on those notifications, okay? And then you're going to head over to the Facebook page, the big exclusive podcast. page, the Big Exclusive Network podcast Facebook page. You're gonna turn on them notifications, and then y'all gonna share it, okay? And every time we go live with the show, you're gonna share it and tag your folks in, okay? And tell them to come on, take a seat, okay? We family over here, okay? I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining Melanated Vibrations. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.